Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Psalm chapter 95, verses 1 through 3 and 6 through 7. O come, let us sing unto Yahweh. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving, and make a joyful noise unto him with psalms. For Yahweh is a great Elohim, and a great King above all gods. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before Yahweh our Maker. For he is our Elohim, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, come let us worship Yahweh.
Give Yahweh The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right. Second Samuel chapter 6 and verse 6 says, And when they came to Nashon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of Elohim, and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Uzzah. And Elohim smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of Elohim. And David was displeased because Yahweh had made a breach upon Uzzah. And he called the name of that place Perez Uzzah to this day. And David was afraid of Yahweh that day, and said, How shall the ark of Yahweh come to me? So David would not remove the ark of Yahweh unto him into the city of David. But David carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of Yahweh continued in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite 3 months. And Yahweh blessed Obed-Edom and all his household. This very situation is why we have, and I've mentioned this several times, the action movie of all action movies is Raiders of the Lost Ark. And the whole point of this was whoever possessed these certain articles would be the most powerful in the world. So understand that possessing the ark, just having the ark sit there, was a powerful blessing unto this individual who had nothing to do with getting it. It just ended up there. But it doesn't just stop there with the ark. The ark was something that was created to hold the testimony and covenant of Yahweh. Well, understand, the children of Israel are his testimony and covenant. All of that is with Israel. So if you get right down to it, the people are an ark themselves. Yahshua was an ark. Yahshua was a carefully crafted individual made to be able to hold the Spirit. So if there's power in possessing the ark, understand that the powers that be also want to have in possession those people. Why do you think these individuals went all the way across the world to go and get some servants? I mean, here we are in America. They could have went right to South America. Why go all the way across the globe to get a certain group of people? Think about how many groups of people they bypassed to get to this group of people. When Yahweh says, all right, I created you for my glory. We were created to be his servants. So one way or another, we were going to serve. He said, either you serve me in truth or in righteousness, or I'm going to have you serve your enemies in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness. So you can either serve me and be full, or you can serve the nations and be hungry. But one way or another, there was servitude. Okay? So the nations then understand that to be ultimately powerful, they need to possess something that belongs to these people. Now understand the situation that the West has concocted. They have in possession the land through somebody else, but they have in possession the land. Then they have in possession the true people outside of the land. So understand, when you hear people brag about how great the West is, I need for you to also understand what the West possesses. They possess the very ark, if you will, of Elohim. And we don't consider that we are that powerful. There's a little kids animation movie called Ants. And in this movie, the crickets or whatever, they ruling over, the ants. And one situation happens, and it was displayed that if the ants got together, that they were more powerful, even though they were very small creatures. And it was a whole melee saying you must never let these ants must never figure out how powerful they are. Do you understand that they outnumber us so much that their strength is way better than us? These little ants can carry many times their weight. We have to make them believe that they are a minority. We have to make them believe that they are lesser. Because if they ever figure out that they are much better than we have ever told them, our rulership is in jeopardy. So when you have a group of people who were created to be servants, these lazy people, even though you have built everything in your eyesight, even though there is no country without your servitude, the part of calling you lazy is not just a thing. It is meant to get in here to make you believe that that's what you are. Even though every difficult job is always given to you. But what you didn't understand is the scale that was happening. A slave could work 2 acres of a cotton field by themselves. They would still call that slave lazy. Understand something? You were not lazy by their standards. You were lazy by your standards. What does that mean? They already know that your ability is greater than theirs. It was never a comparison of you being lazy versus the work that they're going to do. Understand, the person who called you lazy was sitting on the porch sipping some lemonade under a fan. That person ain't did jack all day. So understand, the whole calling you lazy was based on your accomplishments. Oh, but I'm sorry. I can't actually tell you what you are capable of. But I have to keep telling you that you're lazy because I know that you have the ability to do all of these great things, but I cannot tell you that because you may actually figure out who you are and rise up against me. So I can only give you lazy, and I have to leave it right there. But you need to understand the rest of that story. And you need to understand that even something that seems powerless becomes very, very powerful for other entities because of who you are. So you may not understand your worth in a situation. And it is in the powers that be best interest that you do not understand your worth, because you may ask for more. So let's get today's sermon started. It is entitled, The Service of the Saints. We're going to begin in Genesis chapter 31. Genesis chapter 31, and we're going to start with verses 1 through 18. See, we have to understand that the nations knew exactly who they wanted to get. And we're talking about a mass operation, a worldwide operation, to get one group of people. Why? If slavery has existed for all these generations, all these eons, all right, well, then there are plenty of product. Why did you need to go get one specific product? In every movie we see, if they get vibranium, if they get this, if they get that, if they get this special thing, they can rule the world. Your problem is you hadn't figured out that you're the special thing. And if you can get the special thing to not know that it's the special thing, then the special thing is looking for a special thing. When all you had to do was look in the mirror. The special thing was already there. Go ahead, bro.
And he heard the word of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob has taken all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's has he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, was not toward him as before.
All right, so Yahweh puts you in a situation, you're supposed to be the servant, but then Yahweh keeps adding things to you, and now the people who employ you are jealous of you. They have all kinds of things you don't have, but they still have a problem with you. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I'll be with you. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the el of my father has been with me. And you know that with all my power I have served your father, and your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times.
And your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. You know that with all my power I have served your father. He didn't have to do his job. Go ahead.
But Elohim suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckle shall be your wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ringstrake shall be your hire, then bear all the cattle ringstrake.
Right. Yahweh will find a way to pay you out of no way. Every time he will find a way. Our problem is sometimes we're trying to find our own way. And then we end up stumbling and messing up his way because we were trying to implement our own. Go ahead.
You know, brother, it's a wonderful thing every time we read the scriptures and the stuff that pop out to you. In verse 7 he says, and your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. Going on past this, how many times did Yahweh say we provoked him?
10.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to get there.
Thus Elohim had taken away the cattle out of your father and given them to me. And it came to pass at that time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream. And behold, the rams which leapt upon the cattle were ring straight, speckled and grizzled.
Uh-huh.
And the angel of Elohim spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now your eyes and see. All the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring straight, speckled and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban does unto you.
Right. I have seen. But, we want Yahweh to see like that minute, that hour, that second, that millisecond. Like something was just done to us, and we want Yahweh to come right in. We want the clouds to move, and Yahweh to come. I seen that. What? He said, I seen all that he have done to you. Wait a minute. So that means he been doing it for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So then that means Yahweh got a purpose in letting it go for a little bit. No, he seen the first thing. He might not have said nothing to the ninth. That means part of that got something to do with you. Part of that, he said, you know what? This going to do something for my servant. You think he ain't got angels? He could, hey man, go down there and take care of that. Stay your hand. Let's let this play out. Let me see how they going to react. Go ahead.
Elder, in your opening, you were saying that we can't see that we are those special people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said they went for specific people. Even with that, we still don't think that they went for specific people because we all say, we Africans.
Right.
But during that slave trade, those who could prove that they were true Africans were let loose.
Sit right back. All you had to do was prove that you are African. What he said, I'm going to start, give us free.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he had to do. If he could prove he was African, they send him back home. So how could a person who could prove they were African get sent back to Africa if they said we was all African and they went and got us from Africa? Wait a minute. So they went and got some people from Africa who wasn't African.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's mighty peculiar. That's mighty peculiar. All you had to do was prove that you was African and you got to go back. But what did they say in Roots?
People who don't know who they are.
They said, Kunta Kinte, who are you? He said, I'm an African Mandingo warrior. He said, who are those people? Oh, those people don't know who they are. Now, what the hell was the difference between Kunta Kinte and them other ones? Kunta Kinte said, y'all took me by accident. Mm-hmm. I was just standing among these knuckles. I'm not the same as them. We black, but not like that. Oh. So there was a difference. You don't think it's a difference? When you go to one of them little parties in Norcross and you see one of them Africans, run up to him and hug him and say, my brother, see what happened. Go ahead. He gonna let you know. Oh no, we're not the same. Oh, hey man, don't run up on me like that. Now what's the difference? Right, they know who they are. And they also know who they ain't. They don't have the same problems here that we have. Why is that? They are actually African American. How is it that an African American is never called an African American? Only you. You have to ask yourself a question. How is it that a person who comes from Africa, who then lives in America, is not called an African American? They got a passport, they got two stamps on it. One says Africa, the other one says America, but they're not African American. Only you are African American. That is quite peculiar. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 13, I am the El of Bethel, where you anointed the pillar, and where you vowed a vow unto me. Now arise and get you out from this land, and return unto the land of your kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and has quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which Elohim has taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever Elohim has said unto you, do. Then Jacob rose up, and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle, and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padam Aram, for to go to Esaac his father in the land of Canaan.
Now, they're going to go to Esaac his father in the land of Canaan. Somehow, the powers that be want you to not understand that the land of Israel was the land of Canaan. They need for you to not know what is written in the Torah. This is the Torah that we're reading. Okay. The land of Canaan. It was called Canaan land. Canaan is the son of Ham. These are what we would call Africans. They would like for you to believe that no black people has ever lived in the land of Israel, when the actual origin of Israel is Africans. But if you don't know no better, see, if you don't know you the special thing, you still looking for the special thing. See, you don't understand. They trying to tell you that nobody who looked anything like you has ever been in that land. You ever wonder why the Ish will not discuss the forming of Israel? Why won't you discuss who are Canaanites then? You ever wonder why you have never heard them discuss that? It's like the discussion of how Moses put his hand in his bosom and it came out leprous as snow. And then he put his hand back in his bosom and it returned as his other flesh. Question, boss. What the hell was his other flesh? Because it turned white and then it turned back. What was back? It's a question. There are reasons why, with all the special effects, why ain't nobody special affected that one? Right. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 36. And Jacob was angry and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin that you have hotly pursued after me? Whereas you have searched all my stuff. What have you found of all your household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and your brethren, that they may judge betwixt us two, us both. This 20 years have I been with you. Your ewes and your she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of your flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts, I brought it not unto you. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand did you require it.
You required that I lost. Now, people, somehow this is confusing to people. All right, let me explain to you. Okay, so I used to have a little truck. I had a delivery truck, right? And then when you go and you like in the middle of the hood and you get ready to deliver a package, you look over there and you see Pookie them across the street. You be like, oh, damn. There go Pookie them. And Pookie them looking at you. And you looking at the package and you looking at Pookie. You looking at the package, you looking at Pookie, because you know Pookie them gonna come over here and grab that package as soon as I leave it at this door. Guess what? At that situation that I had, how about they deducted from me when Pookie them took that package? So now I got a decision to make. Package, Pookie. Package, Pookie. Pookie, package. Now, if I drop this package, now I'm gonna get paid a certain amount if I drop this package. But I'm going to lose a greater amount if Pookie steal the package. The same game that was happening to us there is happening to us here. They just found a different way to do it. It's the same thing. They make you bear the loss that they incur in doing business. Go ahead.
Whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was. In the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your cattle, and you have changed my wages 10 times.
Now understand, he agreed for 7 years for 1 daughter, because hey, there is a dowry that is supposed to be paid when a man takes a woman out of a man's house. He said, look, I ain't got no money. All right, well, you got hands. Let's put those hands to use. All right. But then he realizes something. And now he needs to do whatever he can to keep this individual. See, you may be working for somebody, but you don't really know how powerful you are to the somebody that you're supposed to be working for. He realizes something at this point. He's only agreeing to 7 years. That's all he's supposed to do. And he's only supposed to marry one daughter. Where do you find somewhere where somebody trick a man into marrying his other daughter? And say, all right, you need to stay 7 more years. What? What they do this at? When they find out that you the thing. Go ahead.
Except the Elohim of my father, the El of Abraham, and the fear of Esaac had been with me, surely you had sent me away now empty. Elohim has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked you yesternight.
Now, Elohim have seen the work of my hands. That Elohim have seen the things that you have done unto me. But Yahweh also has a purpose that he's fulfilling too. So it's not all about when Yahweh sees your affliction that he's going to come and deliver you right there. Why? Because there's something greater going on with you than even you know. Everything that's going on with you ain't about you. I know you think it's you and everything and you feeling it. Everything that happened with you ain't about you. Let's go to Genesis chapter 30. See, there's prophecy going on right here in Genesis. But there are no prophets. Okay, all right. Let me settle it down. There's prophecy going on in Genesis, but there are no prophets. That means they have to live out the prophecy. Their lives don't just belong to them. They are living out prophecy that the children of Israel are going to go through. But at this point, there are no children of Israel per se. Genesis chapter 30, and let's read verses 25 to 36.
And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I might go on to mine own place, and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, and let me go, for you knoweth my service, which I have done you. And Laban said unto him, I pray you, if I have found favor in your eyes,
listen,
tarry, for I have learned by experience that Yahweh has blessed me for your sake.
Stop. I have learned by experience that Yahweh has blessed me because of you. Now, wait a minute. You work for me, but the blessing that I got didn't come through me. This is where sometimes we fail to see, if somebody has something and they may be more powerful, that don't mean jack to Yahweh. This man has realized, this is a businessman. A businessman understands, wait a minute. I knew what was there when you showed up. I knew of certain situations that happened before you got here. I've had other people in that spot where you are. None of that happened in any other people before, except when you got in that position. So now, it is in this man's best interest to do whatever he can to keep him. If he got to mistreat him, if he got to make him think he's less than, if he got to make him marry his other daughter, his other daughter, if he got to go find a cousin, if he got to do whatever, he need to keep this man. The problem is when you don't understand that you that man. Go ahead.
And he said, appoint me my wages, and I'll give it. Appoint me your wages, and I'll give it. And he said unto him, you know how I have served you, and how your cattle was with me. For it was little which you had before I came.
Understand something. He recognizes, wait a minute, I have begun to recognize my worth here. I have seen how this has changed since I have been involved. Go ahead.
And is now increased unto a multitude. And Yahweh has blessed you since my coming. And now when shall I provide for mine own house
Right.
also?
Well, hold on. The powers that be don't want you to provide for your own house, because then that means that you leave them. I need for you to stay as low just enough to survive, but never to provide. Go ahead.
And he said, what shall I give you? Jacob said, you shall not give me anything. If you will do this thing for me, I'll again feed and keep your flock.
Now, no matter what, he at least comes to this conclusion. All right, I know that Yahweh has blessed. Now, he's known that all along. But something has to happen before he will admit it. Go ahead.
I will pass through all your flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come.
I will take the parts that are less desirable. You keep all the pure ones. Give me the spotted, the speckled, the grizzled. What you think Yahweh got with us? I don't want to point no fingers, but spotted, speckled, grizzled. Spotted, speckled, grizzled. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but there's some grizzled knuckles in there. But what you think he like to work with? See, that thing that believes it's pure, it ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing but hold everybody else back. But the spotted and speckled and the grizzled, oh no, they like, oh no, let's go take care of this business. Go ahead.
When it shall come for my hire before your face, everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to your word. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock.
He said 3 days' journey. Now I'm going to sanctify myself from you. See, because I don't want there to be said that once Yahweh starts blessing me, that this belongs to you. So let's set 3 days' journey so that there's a sanctification of me between you. Our problem is we don't like the sanctification part, and this is what gets us into trouble. So now the things which your Elohim is attempting to give to you is ending up in a place that is not sanctified. Now he got a decision to make. Do I keep blessing you, and you are letting my blessing go to the heathen? Or do I stop blessing you altogether and wait for you to realize where you're standing? It's a question. Let's go to Numbers chapter 22. I mean, let's say you are the giver of such things. What would you do? What would you do if it was in your hand to do, and you realize that who you're trying to bless is standing amongst some consumers who are going to constantly consume everything that you give the entity that you're trying to bless? So they won't even get to appreciate or deal with what's given to them, because it will be consumed by the individuals that they are around. What would you do? Go ahead, Prince.
Even when you look at this situation, they said Joseph was just born, but he gave those sheep into the hands of his sons. So that's something they were already doing. By the time we get to Joseph being betrayed and sent away.
Numbers 22, and let's read verses 1 through 20.
And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel.
Now, once Yahweh starts doing some things for you, there are some entities that stand near and watch these things, and they're extremely bothered. They are bothered by what Yahweh has allowed for you to do. Now, you are still on your path, but it bothers them. You have not gotten anywhere to where you're trying to go, but it bothers them that you just on your way. Go ahead.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licks up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray you, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure, I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom you blessed is blessed, and he whom you cursed is cursed.
All right, so he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed. So curse me this people. So you have to pay attention to the part of what's happening here. One individual is hiring someone to curse another group. So it's not like the person is cursing someone. This person knows that they don't have the power to curse. So then they lean on somebody else who they believe has the power. So when people solicit prayers from you, a curse is just a prayer prayed in the opposite direction. So when people come to you and they'll ask for your prayer for something, they understand that you may have more power in this situation than they do. Now, they're not going to tell you what they've done that has relinquished their power. They're just going to solicit that prayer from you. But they know that they don't have power in that situation. But because they need to feed off your sympathy, you just need to know that they're in trouble and that they need your prayer. Go ahead.
And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I'll bring you word again, as Yahweh shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And Elohim spake unto Balaam, and said, What men are these with you? And Balaam said unto Elohim, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent unto me, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covers the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Peradventure I shall be able to overcome them, and drive them out. And Elohim said unto Balaam, You shall not go out with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed.
You shall not curse the people, for the people are blessed. You can't curse them. Those people are uncursable. It's interesting that the people want you to believe that not only were you cursed, but you were even cursed black. Your skin tone is supposed to be a foundational point of your curse. Like your skin testifies against you. Somebody need for you to believe that. Why does somebody need for you to believe that? Go ahead.
When you look at that situation, so if you do something wrong, you go to court and a judge sentence you, is that punishment or is that a curse?
Well, I tell you what, if I ended up in court and they said, you gonna get punished, just curse me black then. Just curse me black. You know what, don't send me to jail. Curse me black. I do it. You know what, you gonna punish, make me extra black. Blacker than black. Crispy. Make me crispy, crunchy. But let me go home. But hey, I'll be straight. I don't think they're going to do that, though. I don't think they're going to do that. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 13. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, get you into your land, for Yahweh refused to give me leave to go with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went on to Balak and said, Balaam refuses to come with us. And Balak sent yet again princes more, and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, thus says Balak the son of Zippor, let nothing, I pray you, hinder you from coming on to me. For I'll promote you on to very great honor. And I'll do whatsoever you saith unto me. Come, therefore, I pray you, curse me this people. And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Yahweh my Elohim to do less or more.
So he cannot curse this blessed people. But what if you can make the people believe that they are cursed? Okay, you can't actually curse them because they're uncursable. But if you can get in their mind and make them believe that they are already cursed, then you have affected their ability. What do you think trash talk in a game is? The person has the ability to play the game. But if the trash talker can get in the person's head and make them believe that they can't play the game, well, then they can't play the game. They still have the physical abilities that they had before. What changed? Their mind state about playing the game. Now, this person didn't actually curse them, just made them believe that they were. I remember the days of reading them horoscopes. Oh my God, today you will do such and such. You go about your whole day looking for, today I shall find a gum wrapper. You spend your whole, what are you doing? Going about to make that happen that you already read before you left the house. It got in here. So if they can make you think you're cursed, then you are what you think you are. So if you believe you are powerful, then you are. But if you believe you're weak, then you are. Go ahead.
Now therefore, I pray you, tarry you also here this night, that I may know what Yahweh will say unto me more. And Elohim came unto Balaam at the night, and said unto him, if the men come to call you, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto you, that shall you do.
All right, let's go to Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12. And I want you to start at verse 29.
And it came to pass that at midnight Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle.
Now, this is a real humbling thing for Pharaoh, so-called godlike man. For him to have all of this power and then have to endure these things here, this is causing a problem. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, where there was not a house, where there was not one dead. And he called for Moshe and Aaron by night, and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both you and all the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahweh, as you have said. Also take your flocks and your herds, and as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also.
Wait a minute. The very individuals who have prayed on you need for you to pray for them. Be gone. Get on. But bless me on your way out. What? See, you don't know how much power you have. You're looking at these people have power over you. They have money. They have cars. They have all the best chariots in the land right over here. See, when we get a fan, we got a fan. No, they have fanners. What's that? No. That's a real live person. Doing like this. Yet, you have the power to bless some individuals who have more power, money, and influence than you. But do you know that? Go ahead.
And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men.
So Yahweh then uses this situation to not only move Pharaoh, but to move the rest of the Egyptian people. How many times you heard somebody in a so-called argument and they said, go back to Africa? Oh, Yahweh gonna move the hearts of the people. But they be like, look, hey, y'all go back to wherever y'all came from. And here go gold, silver, anything else y'all need. Right. No, he didn't just move Pharaoh's heart. He moved those people's heart when they began to suffer. Now, why would Yahweh take the firstborn of even the captive in the dungeon? See, when you talk to people about slavery here, they say, well, we didn't have nothing to do with that. That was our great-great-grandfather. All right. Pharaoh don't ask the people nothing. He's a man God in his own mind, all right? He don't have to ask anybody anything. So when this punishment comes to Egypt, why does it come outside of Pharaoh's house? Why don't it just go to Pharaoh? He's the one in control. See, there's certain questions that people will not discuss in open forum. See, these Egyptians have benefited from the service of Yahweh's servants. Everybody who benefits from something is thus held liable. I don't care what it did, if you were the one that did it. When the bank was robbed and the bank robbery money was used to buy you a house. But I didn't rob the bank, young. My daddy did. All right. Did your daddy buy you this house? Yeah. Give me that. That's got to come with me. I'm sorry. See, it doesn't matter that you didn't commit the robbery. You benefited from the proceeds. So the very people that are saying that they didn't have anything to do with slavery, the same Fortune 500 companies that we work for were started with slave money. I'm sorry. Yahweh not fooled. Go ahead.
Verse 34. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moshe, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
All right, so this is their reparations. So if Yahweh is going to do anything, we'll get our reparations on the way out. Go ahead.
And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
All right, so now let's go to Exodus chapter 8. See, there's a reason why people have to start reading from another book. They have to present other books to say that that is the book that they worship from. Because this Torah is going to bust up doctrine. So if you can get another book that gives you opinions of this book, here's the problem. When you're given opinions about what's written, you know you can just avoid the thing that you don't want to talk about. So if you can make this Talmud and then say it is an opinion of the Torah, well, if chapter 7, verse 12 exposes you, don't give an opinion about chapter 7 and verse 12. Da-da! You solved the problem. We don't understand that that's part of the game, though. So what we doing? Run around trying to speak the very language of our the thieves of our land. We trying to do all of these things and trying to read their book. When that was a trick so that you don't understand who you are. Yahweh can't spread you all across the four corners of the globe, but then say you can only read the word in one. But then you can't hold me responsible then. If Yahweh does not present this book in the same languages that he spread us to, then I am not liable. He cannot hold me liable for that which I cannot read. Don't let these people fool you with this mess. Go ahead, bro.
Exodus chapter 8 and verse 20. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he comes forth to the water. And say unto him, Thus says Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if you will not let my people go, behold, I'll send swarms of flies upon you, and upon your servants, and upon your people, and into your houses. And the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end you mayest know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the earth.
So there's a separation between where the children of Israel are and where the Egyptians reside. This is why they told us that, we need to desegregate. See, we made it harder on our God. They knew what happened if we would stay to ourselves. We would eventually, all of that spiritual power would have stayed in the same place. We say, hey man, we got to get out of the hood. Wait a minute. The hood wouldn't have been the hood if all of us dwelt in the same place. What do you think they took out of the hood? The influential individuals. The influential people who would have started the business. The influential people who would have opened the corner store. The influential people who would have done all of those things. That's what's pulled out of the hood. And they leave these people amongst it with nothing. And then that's when it becomes the ghetto. We think that if we just stay among one another, that's what it's going to be. No. Ain't you ever heard of Black Wall Street? Ain't you ever heard of all these other places? They left those people alone and they skyrocketed. So they learned, we ain't going to do that no more. We're going to get the influential ones and we're going to pull them out. We think that they're giving us something. When they come to the hood and say, you know what? This your son is smart. This your daughter is, oh my gosh, she's brilliant. I'm going to give her or him a scholarship. And they're going to come to our school. And we say, oh my God, we blessed. No, they just came and took a resource out your community. They're going to educate that resource in the way of their mind. So when that kid does come out of college, it will have absolutely no connection to the people of which they come from. That, my friend, was a trick. And because we got a little money out of the trick, we fell for it. That kid won't know what it is by the time you get it back. But it's educated now. Right. Go ahead.
Sometimes Yahweh will put you in a simple situation just to see the beauty. So Thursday, I'm in this office building waiting on the elevators, 2 elevators, a bunch of us standing there. Both elevators show up at the same time. I'm not paying attention to it. A bunch of people get on one elevator. A bunch of people get on another elevator. Lady standing in the back, and she goes, wow, that was beautiful. Did you see that? All the white people went on one elevator and all the black people. So nobody said anything. She said it again. Of course, hey, go on our people. I don't care what elevator I got on. Just as long as I said, boy, you just don't even understand what she's getting at.
Hey, it is normal for people to want to be around their own people. Mm-hmm. You have the bigotry when people start doing other things, but it's normal. But what happens is we are programmed to not think that that's normal. So when you want to be around your own people, they program you that something must be wrong with you. Well, wait a minute. Every other nationality operate the same way. How does it make me racist that I want to be around somebody who look like me? When the Asians move here, how they all get in the same neighborhood? Now, the Ethiopians black.
Mm-hmm.
The Sudanese black.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them in your neighborhood? Bust two lefts and recognize all the Sudanese in the same neighborhood. How all of them get there? How all of them get to that neighborhood? Right. Every other nationality does that, but we have been told that if we do it, that something wrong with us. Why? All them people are not that special thing. You need to spread out that special thing. Because if you get too much of that special thing in one place, it is going to realize that it is special. And then you have a problem. Sudanese never got desegregated. Orientals never got desegregated. Hispanics never got desegregated. You go down the street, you're going to run into 20,000 Hispanics. They got their own bus system. They got their own... Nobody's bothering them. But everybody need to know exactly where you are at all times. Why? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 23. And I'll put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And Yahweh did so. And there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moshe and for Aaron, and said, Go you, sacrifice to your Elohim in the land. And Moshe said, It is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to Yahweh our Elohim. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes? And will they not stone us?
Right, because you think you think the cow is a god. All right? And we're going to sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, your God. Now, we're going to have a problem when I kill your God. See? We're going to have a problem when I put your God on the grill. You understand? We're going to have a problem when I put cheese, mustard, and ketchup on top of your God. We're going to have some problem. We're going to have some problem. We're going to have some problem. So I think it'd be better that I go somewhere else before I have this cheeseburger. I'm just saying. Because your people going to be like, hey, my God. Your God is delicious. Yeah, I don't know where your God is delicious. Your God been soaked in all kind of natural. This is wonderful. Your God been marinated. No, it's not good that we do this right here because we're going to have some problem. Go ahead.
We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to Yahweh our Elohim, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to Yahweh your Elohim in the wilderness. Only you shall not go very far away.
Don't go very far.
Entreat for me.
And pray for me. You need to beware of the enemy who smiles at you but still desires your prayer. Go ahead.
And Moshe said, Behold, I go out from you, and I'll entreat Yahweh that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully anymore in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Yahweh. And Moshe went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. And Yahweh did according to the words of Moshe. And he removed the swarm of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also.
The same thing that the heathen gonna do to you. They're gonna ask you to pray for them. Once they get whatever deliverance that is, they are going to remind you how much they really hate you. Go ahead.
Neither would he let the people go.
Of course, he was not going to let the people go. Just jump to our chapter 9 and verse 13.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus says Yahweh Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon your heart, and upon your servants, and upon your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I shall stretch out my hand, that I may smite you and your people with pestilence, and you shall be cut off from the earth. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised you up, for to show in you my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. As yet exalteth you yourself against my people, that you will not let them go. Behold, tomorrow about this time, I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as has not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. Send therefore now, and gather your cattle, and all that you have in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon him, and they shall die.
Now, this is given. Now you have an opportunity to see, okay, all right, do you believe or are you a non-believer? Go ahead.
He that feared the word of Yahweh among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses.
Right. Now, so a believer is shown by their actions, not by what they say. I need for you to pay attention. A believer is determined by their actions, not by what they say. We keep listening to people. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. A believer is going to operate like a believer. A non-believer is going to operate like a non-believer. Stop listening, but keep looking. Go ahead.
You know, when you go back to verse 13, you got all these people say, oh, he came to save everybody. Right here, he said point blank, if they want to say it in their terminology, I'm the God of the Hebrews.
That is. That is. He didn't say, I'm the God of all the earth. I came to save earthlings. Come here, earth people. No. And who would be looking for a savior if they already got everything? I ask that question right now at this very point in time. Who is looking for a savior? If we look in the land of Israel right now, the Palestinians would be looking more for a savior than the children of Israel, who are in the land calling themselves Israel. Why would they need a savior? They're the ones with the bombs. Why would they need a savior? They're the ones with the drones. They don't need a savior. Only people who are being persecuted need a savior. Go ahead.
And he that regarded not the word of Yahweh left his servants and his cattle in the field. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, stretch forth your hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field, throughout all the land of Egypt. And Moshe stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and Yahweh rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail.
Right. So you think the nation hadn't learned from this? They say, all right, now, no. Because what'll happen is Yahweh will turn around and he'll punish Decatur, but not Decatur. They said, no, I know what we're going to do. Look, spread them out. Put some of them in Decatur too. All right, put some in Atlanta and some in Alpharetta. That way Yahweh can't just tear up Alpharetta and leave Atlanta alone. You think these people don't know what they doing? It was places that we wouldn't even know. You go back a couple of years, you wouldn't find no people who look like you in this part of town. None whatsoever. None. There's a reason why it's all Confederate people carved on that mountain that they call Stone Mountain. Because wasn't none of us around here. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh sent and called for Moshe and Aaron, and said unto them, I have sinned this time. Yahweh is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat Yahweh, for it is enough.
I and my people are wicked. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moshe and Aaron and said to them, I have sinned this time. Yahweh is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. A lot have to happen before somebody admit what they truly are. Go ahead.
Entreat Yahweh, for it is enough that there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, and I'll let you go, and you shall stay no longer. And Moshe said unto him, As soon as I am gone out of the city, I'll spread abroad my hands unto Yahweh, and the thunder shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that you may know how that the earth is Yahweh.
You shall know that the earth is Yahweh. You have any idea how strange that's got to be to realize now? And I want you to see, a lot of times what we're seeing here is a miraculous blessing, if you will. We're watching the thunder, the hail. I need you to take Moshe and his staff out of it for a second. What you are hearing is a horrible storm, but that does not storm where Israel is. Mm-hmm. I need you to just pause and sit there for a second. Okay, so there is a grievous storm. Now imagine, because when it get real bad, we like to look out the window. Now imagine looking out the window. Because you know how we do. When the power go out here, first thing we do is look across the street to see if they lights on. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to know, okay, did we not pay the bill? Or is it everybody? So that's our first thing. Is it everybody? Is everybody power out? Well, when you look down that hill and you realize there's no rain over there. There's no hail over there. There's no nothing right there where all those people are. But everywhere where I see these people, it is absolutely storming. They are screaming. Oh, that's got to do something to you. And people didn't go through all of this to pretend to be you and not know the rules and regulations of how to be you. They're not going to fall for the same trick. So they realize they can't just let you be. Go ahead.
Not only that, you looking at them people, they outside chilling.
Right. They outside playing. Hey, mama, it's snow and fire. Mama, when did I tell you see snow and fire? How you get snow and fire? Mama, shouldn't the fire melt the snow? This is when the kids ask you something and you, Junebug, go in the house. Do I look like I come from heaven? Do I look like I know why it's fire and snow coming down? So they got hit with fire and ice? I don't know. Go on back in the house. Call your daddy, though. Come on here. This is interesting. But they can't explain it. Go ahead.
Verse 30. But as for you and your servants, I know that you will not yet fear Yahweh Elohim. And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was bold. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not grown up. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands unto Yahweh. And the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, neither would he let the children of Israel go, as Yahweh had spoken by Moshe.
Right. And all of this is at the will of Yahweh, because at that point, Yahweh is making an example out of the people who would despitefully use the children of Israel. And Pharaoh understands at this point. He needs Israel to pray for him because he knows that his prayers will not be heard. And it's the same when we encounter the heathen. The heathen know that Yahweh will not hear their prayers. So then they try to get you to pray for them. And one of the things that we have to look at, like my brother mentioned earlier, Jacob is being made to live out the prophecies concerning his people. His wages were changed 10 times. 10 plagues caused Pharaoh to release the children of Israel, and the children of Israel transgressed Yahweh's commandments 10 times. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 8. So there's a lot more going on than what meets the eye there. There are no prophets, but there are prophecies. So then it is up to them that they must live those things out. 1 Samuel chapter 8. And let's start that at verse 1.
And it came to pass, when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, you are old, and your sons walk not in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations.
Now, this has been our problem from day one. We always want something that we see the other nations have. We might have something great, but if it looked like this other thing is the cool thing, then that's the thing we want. Go ahead.
But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us.
Right, because at any point they could have just said, "Can you pick some other men?"
Mm-hmm.
We don't like his son. His sons be tripping. We don't like them. Can you give us some other judges? No, they asked for the entire setup to be changed. No more judges. We don't even like your setup, Yahweh. Give us a whole nother setup, the setup that the nations have. Go ahead.
And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them.
Right. This is the same thing that will happen to you. People will think that they are rejecting you, but they are rejecting your Elohim. See, he put his word in you and put you forth for a purpose. That's why you have to stop taking everything personal. Everything that happened to you is not about you. Go ahead.
According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me, and served other gods, so do they also unto you. Now therefore hearken unto their voices. Howbeit, yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them.
So, Israel has so much power with Yahweh that you can ask for something that you should not get. But if you keep asking, he'll give it to you. Keep on bothering him. He gonna give it to you. Go ahead.
And Samuel told all the words of Yahweh unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that will reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands, and captains over 50s, and will set them to air his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers.
Right. Your daughter ain't going to be cooking in your house. You're going to be cooking at his place. Go ahead.
And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants.
Oh, yeah. You about to pay tax now. You got a king. Now you got king tax. Now you had Yahweh, you had a tenth, you had a tithe. Go ahead.
And he will take the tenth of your seed.
Wait a minute. Now you already owe Yahweh a tenth. Now you just jumped up to 20% tax. Because this is what you asked for. This is what you asked for. You put yourself in 20% tax bracket. Go ahead.
And of your vineyards, and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maidservants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work.
Right. The best of your servants, he gonna come through. Hey man, that guy that's good. Send him over to my. Wait a minute. Now what's gonna happen with my house? That's your problem. You found somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You found a good man. That's good. Now found another one because that one's mine. Go ahead.
He will take the tenth of your sheep, and you shall be his servants. And you shall cry out in that day because of the king which you shall have chosen you. And Yahweh will not hear you in that day.
No, because this is what you asked for. Tell them what it is. Even when Yahweh sends somebody to help you, If you decide that you won't listen to the person that Yahweh has given to help you, Yahweh is going to step aside. Now, everything that proceeds after that, please don't blame it on my God. Because he stepped away because he got tired of hearing your voice. He put you in a situation to protect you. He's not going to keep listening to that mess. He's going to step aside. Tell them what's going to happen. Now, after they say that, step aside, go ahead and give it to them. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, no, but we will have a king over us.
I know all you saying, man. Yeah. Anyway, but give me what I asked for. Go ahead.
That we also may be like all the nations.
That's our problem. We ain't going to admit it, but we want to do what we see other people doing. We ain't going to admit it. We want to wear what we see other people wearing. We ain't going to admit it, but we want to drive what we see other people drive. This has been our problem since our youth. Give us a king like all the other nations. How is that different than what we do today? Daddy, can I please have some J's? All the kids got J's, Daddy. Daddy, they don't cost but $155. $155? How about your wardrobe for $155? But they J's, Daddy. I got something like some J's. I got no, Dad, I can't wear these to school at all. No, these them Morel Jordans. You can't wear those. Dad, I can never be able to go to school again in these. Never mind, just give me some Reeboks or something. Don't give me these. Do not give me these. Go ahead, bro.
And that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of Yahweh. And Yahweh said to Samuel, hearken unto their voice.
Get it to him.
And make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go you every man unto his house.
Now, here is what you have to understand. The power of your prayer is amazing. The enemy understands that. Your God understands that. You're the only one that don't understand that. The power of your prayer is so strong that you can ask for stuff that you ain't supposed to have, and he'll still give it to you. He has the power to say no, but he wants you to learn what to pray for. So instead of just telling you no, he asks you, do you understand what this is going to do? But you have so much power with him that he's trying to convince you to change your prayer. Do you not understand what kind of grace and mercy that is? I want you to understand why. But if you keep asking me, I'm going to give it to you. You're going to get it. And then when you come and pray to me about that, what you asked for, stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to you. No. No. I tried to get you to change your prayer. You continued to pray it, so I answered it. But you're not going to come back to me about that which I answered. You're going to deal with that which you asked for. Let's go to Genesis chapter 49. See, it's important that you know your power before you just throw your power around, not understanding what it is you have. Genesis 49, and we're going to read verses 1 through 7.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, you sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, you're my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, and the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water.
Wait a minute. It sounded like this was going to go good. You are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, the excellency of power. But you're crazy as kitty litter. That was the next line right there. You're unstable as water. You're crazy as kitty litter. But you got all these things, your excellency of dignity. What is the dignity? But he crazy as kitty litter. Right. Go ahead.
Can you imagine standing there, boy, and as he's saying that, you know, your chest getting higher and higher?
Yeah. Yep. And then he tell you crazy as cat poop. There it is. But thank you for nothing, Daddy. Go ahead.
Unstable as water, you shall not excel.
Unstable as water. Water has no form. Water will take whatever form of the container that it's in. What does that mean? It is completely changeable. It doesn't know what it is. A rock has already decided it is a rock and this is the shape of it. Water said, well, if there's a pipe, I'll be round. If it's on land, I'll be flat. I'll be whatever the situation needs me to be. Right. Unstable as water. Go ahead.
Because you wenteth up to your father's bed, then defileth you it. He went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
Now, these two cannot even be amongst each other. Go ahead.
O my soul, come not you into their secret, onto their assembly, mine honor. Be not you united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger.
Cursed be their anger. Now, Yahweh know, all right, hey, this a man dealing with his sons. We then descend from the tribes of these people. This is where the tribes come from. So understand, he's describing people in this room and people who listening. Some of y'all are excellent in dignity and power and honor and crazy as cat poop. What? He's talking about his sons. You don't get to tell a man what he can say about his son. You do not get to tell a man what he can say about his. Go ahead.
For it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
He said that these two here have anger problems so bad that I can't let them live together. If these two live together, people just die. Somebody delivered the mail wrong, now somebody dead. Whatever. Brother Gay, he brought Simeon mail here. Told him I'm Levi. He gonna die. For the mail, brother? For the mail? He got to die because of the mail? Right. So that lets you know something. He said that they got anger issues. These two need to be separated. Understand? Israel, you might be in the midst. You have to know that these are the things that were given unto us about our family. You might see a situation and be like, Simeon and Levi. There you go, right there. Can I get somebody to separate them two right now? Whatever, because other people going to die. So you don't need that right now to multiply. Let's put that anger over this side, put this anger over there. Yahweh had already said, he didn't say I took away their anger. He said they got it. So they just angry individuals. All right? Then you mess around and you throw a spark on top of that and something explodes. They just got it. Now understand that. There's positive stuff to having a grenade. But not if you don't understand how the pen works. You understand? A grenade is a powerful thing. So you know, all right, this is my brother right here. He is explosive. That is my other brother. He's explosive. I need to know where gas and matches is at all times. Because this my brother is explosive. I need to understand that that is an explosion waiting to happen. But if that explosion happens at the right time, then this, my brother, is powerful. And that, my brother, is powerful. But if these explosions happen at the wrong time, everybody in the family dead. Now, I can't get rid of these out of my family. I have to learn how to keep them at bay. Because I'm going to need both of these things. But I need them not to kill the whole family. Go ahead, bro.
That was it.
That was it. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7. See, there are things that are in us. Yahweh is not trying to take everything out of us, but he is trying to get us to learn how to control it. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, and let's start that at verse 1.
A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting.
Right, because in the house of mourning, it is where you can accept change. When you think everything is good, when somebody is trying to make you better, you say, I don't need to be better, I won. I'm winning, why I need to be made better? You can't get better than the championship. Go ahead.
For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better.
Right.
The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools.
But we like the song of fools. See, the song of fools make us feel good about ourselves, whether we are right or wrong. See, when we hear the rebuke of the wise, and that means that we have to make changes. That's why you'll have somebody that might deal with, they might watch us 1 week, they may not watch, next 3-4 weeks. Well, because I don't want to be changed. Right. Go ahead.
For as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in your spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
Right, and the adversary, the devil, is standing, waiting to devour us with that very anger that he knows that's already in there. Now, he done already said, there was the father that said what was in his 2 sons, right? You think Lucifer don't know that's in him? So what you think Lucifer gonna do? If he sat right there and taunted Yahshua, you don't think he gonna do nothing to them 2 angry sons that he know he got? Oh, he finna agitate them. Let me see what angry and more angry gonna do. I'm gonna see what I can do with angry and more angry. You don't think he gonna try to use that? If he went against Yahshua, who the hell are we? Go ahead.
Say not you, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For you does not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to them that have it. Consider the work of Elohim, for who can make that straight which he has made crooked? In the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider. Elohim also has set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. All things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolong his life in his wickedness. Be not righteous overmuch, neither make yourself overwise. Why should you destroy yourself? Be not overmuch wicked, neither be you foolish. Why should you die before your time? It is good that you should take hold of this. Yea, also from this withdraw not your hand. For he that fears Elohim shall come forth of them all. Wisdom strengtheneth the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. For there is not a just man upon earth that does good and sins not.
Uh-huh.
Also take no heed unto all words that are spoken, lest you hear your servant curse you.
Also take no heed unto all words that are spoken, lest you hear your servant curse you. Go ahead.
For oftentimes also your own heart knows that you yourself likewise has cursed others.
Right. Take no word. See, we hear one thing. Yeah, that brother said such and such. I'm finna go say, all right, well, back up. What have you said? You don't think you've ever said something against any man? Well, I'm ready to go to war. Right. Sure you are. Right. This is that part where you can't get so sensitive. This is where Yahweh end up using, you got to work on those feelings. See, that's that part of the thick skin that we have to get. Man, if they've called the master of the house Beelzebub, I ask from the bottom of my heart, who the hell are you? We talking about a man who did no wrong. And they had no problem hanging him. They had no problem impaling him. Why is it that we desire or believe that nothing will ever be said against or about us? What kind of thought is that? Is that in itself vanity? Interesting. Let's go to Psalms chapter 7. Psalm chapter 7, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
O Yahweh my Elohim, in you do I put my trust. Save me from all them that persecute me, and deliver me. Lest he tear my soul like a lion, rendering it in pieces, while there's none to deliver. O Yahweh my Elohim, if I have done this, if there be lawlessness in my hands, if I have rewarded evil unto him that has at peace, that was at peace with me, yea, I have delivered him that without cause is mine enemy.
Now, if I have rewarded evil unto him that was at peace with me, yea, I have delivered him that without cause is my enemy. Wait a minute. If you have rewarded evil unto him who was at peace with you, you, my friend, are in error. But what if the adversary, the devil, led you to believe that that individual was not at peace with you? Now you think you right, but you ain't. What if the adversary made you to believe? This is what I said. Be not, bothered by all things spoken. What if you believe that something is being said and it's being said about you? Do you get to jump off the top rope? Understand now, the adversary of the devil will play games with us. Because understand, he know all those things that this man said about his sons. So he knows what's in each one of them. Go ahead.
What does it say? Be not wise in your own conceit.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that being conceited if you think everything is always about you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. Let the enemy persecute my soul and take it. Yea, let him tread down my life upon the earth and lay mine honor in the dust. Arise, O Yahweh, in your anger. Lift up yourself because of the rage of mine enemies, and awake for me to the judgment that you have commanded. So shall the congregation of the people compass you about. For their sakes, therefore, return you on high. Yahweh shall judge the people. Judge me, O Yahweh, according to my righteousness and according to mine integrity that is in me. O let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. For the righteous Elohim tries the hearts and reins.
Mm-hmm.
My defense is of Elohim, which saves the upright in heart. Elohim judges the righteous, and Elohim is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. If he has bent his bow and made it ready. Verse 12. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He has bent his bow and made it ready. He has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travails with lawlessness, and has conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit, and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made.
This is why sometimes you just have to let some things play out. You see somebody digging a pit for you, give it a little time. You're going to walk by and find them in the same pit that they dug for you. Go ahead.
His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. I will praise Yahweh according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of Yahweh Most High.
All right, let's go to Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6, and I want you to read verses 20 through 36.
Verse 20. And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, Blessed be you poor, for yours is the kingdom of Elohim. Blessed are you that hunger now, for you shall be filled. Blessed are you that weep now, for you shall laugh. Blessed are you when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company.
Right, but see, we don't feel blessed. So the question is it all about the current feeling that we have? Because if everything is based off the current feeling that we have, we're going to have some problems. See, if your feelings direct everything, blessed are you when men shall hate you. Wait a minute. Now these people got hatred against you, and now you're dealing in the right now. Now you're having a problem. Are you not thinking about other than right now? Go ahead.
And shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil, for the Son of Man's sake.
Now, wait a minute. They have evil things to say about you, and they think it's about you, but it's not about you. It is because of the Elohim that you serve. But have you taken that personally and now have gone to strike back? I mean, you got to uphold the job that your Elohim has given you. But then after that, you let Yahweh do his job. Go ahead.
Rejoice you in that day, and leap for joy. For, behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. But woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for you shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you, when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets.
Do we feel woe? No. When people saying good thing about us, the last thing we get is worry. Wait a minute, man, these people being too nice to me. Man, these people are saying nice things about me. Now, we ain't worried then. So when you consider what's written, we worried at the wrong times. We worried when people speaking about us bad and happy when they speaking about us good. The book says you're supposed to be the opposite. Why do people keep saying good about you? That's when you need to be worried. You being buttered up for the dinner. You think you going to dinner. You are the dinner. Go ahead.
But I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Bless them that curse you.
Wait a minute. This is where things get difficult. Wait a minute. Bless them that curse you. Go ahead.
And pray for them which despitefully use you. And unto him that smiteth you on the one cheek, offer also the other. And him that takes away your cloak, forbid not to take your coat also.
Wait a minute. Now, this sounds like it's being weak. But you have to play this out and see where this goes. Go ahead.
Give to every man that ask of you, and of him that takes away your goods, ask them not again. And as you would that men should do to you, do you also to them likewise.
All right, so then what's happening then? You are creating a spirit of return. the energy that you put out in the earth is going to return unto you. So if you put out negative energy is going to return. Go ahead.
For if you love them which love you, what thank have you? For sinners also love those that love them. And if you do good to them which do good to you, what thank have you? For sinners also do even the same. And if you lend to them of whom you hope to receive, what thank have you? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much again. But love you your enemies, and do good, and lend, hoping for nothing again. And your reward shall be great, and you shall be the children of the highest. For he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Be you therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful.
Be you also merciful as your Father is merciful. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3. And say, hey, wait a minute, this some difficult stuff to implement right here. First Peter chapter 3, and we're going to read verses 8 through 17.
Finally, be you all of one mind, having
Where you at? First Peter. All right, I'm in the wrong place. All right.
Finally, be you all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous. Not rendering evil for evil.
It's the very thing that we do. Go ahead.
Or railing for railing.
Right. If something goes somewhere, we match it. If somebody holler at us, we're going to holler louder. If somebody growl at us, we're going to growl more. Go ahead.
But contrariwise, blessing, knowing that you are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing.
Wait a minute. Okay. Not rendering evil for evil, railing for railing, but contrariwise, blessing. Knowing that you are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing. So, is the adversary, the devil, provoking you that you might be giving up your inheritance? Interesting, isn't it? Read.
For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips that they speak no guile.
Understand? What happened to Esau? He gave up his birthright by his mouth, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So he was talked out of his inheritance then, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying to make sure we on the same page there. Go ahead.
Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. For the eyes of the Adonai are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Adonai is against them that do evil. And who is he that will harm you, if you be followers of that which is good? But and if you suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are you. And be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. But sanctify the Adonai Elohim in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that, whereas they speak evil of you, as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Yahshua.
Right, not right away. Having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you, as of evildoers, that they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in the Mashiach. They ain't going to be ashamed right now. They ain't ashamed because they saying it right now. They'll be ashamed later. Go ahead.
For it is better, if the will of Elohim be so, that you suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing.
Wait a minute. So there can be suffrage going on in our lives. One part can be for something that we've done, and another part can be for something that he wants you to go through. It might not have nothing to do with something that you've done. But if we on that personal level, all we thinking about is us. We're not thinking about, all right, this is some work that I need for you to do because this is going to do. No. All we think about is us. My feelings got hurt. I'm feeling tender right now. Right. Go ahead.
That was it.
All right, brother. Let's go to Romans chapter 12. See, we say we're servants. But what happened when Yahweh asks you something that might be difficult? I mean, we sitting here reading and going over things of vanity. What if we was that servant that Yahweh said, look, I want you to walk down Candler Road naked with your buttocks uncovered. What? You ain't got no other jobs opening? I mean, but you ain't, I mean, surely there's got to be another job here somewhere. And how do you even apply for the buttocks uncovered job? I mean, if you got my resume for that one, it was an accident. I did not put that in Indeed and telling them that that's what I was gonna do. You got the wrong resume. I don't know how they even don't how they get my number. Right. Romans chapter 12. Let's start at verse 9.
Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love. In honor, preferring one another.
Wait a minute. So there's a certain way that the angel of Yahweh is expecting to perceive our dealings with one another. Go ahead.
Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Adonai. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation.
Patient in tribulation. How long can we be patient while going through something undesirable? Go ahead.
Continuing instant in prayer. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you. Bless and curse not.
Here we go again. We said, wait a minute now. This is a problem. Why is this a problem? If you are uncursable, what difference do it make? They can't curse you if they wanted to. They can say whatever they want to say. They can do what they want. They can go climb Mount Vesuvius and slip a lightning rod to their back end and stand in the rain and hope it spark them and they can glow and they can say what all they want. Guess what's going to happen? Not a damn thing. Because they can't curse that which is blessed. So is it merely that you have gotten cursed, or that something has gotten in your mind and made you feel cursed? Go ahead, Brent.
Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men.
Now, you have to be prepared that when that happens, that people going to think you're weak. So they thinking that they're getting over on you. But wait, there's more. Go ahead.
If it be possible, as much as lies in you, live peaceably with all men.
Right, if it be possible. Understand, it is known that it is not always possible to live peaceably with somebody. That means you got to separate yourself. Go ahead.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, and I will repay, says the Adonai. Therefore, if your enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, you shall heap coals of fire on his head.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, you going railing for railing, and you think that's going to do something. Let me tell you something. You know you just pull your God out of the equation, right? You know you just got tricked into pulling your God out of the equation. Now, he ain't got to do nothing for that person because you did it. No. See? When somebody curse you, don't just go out there. No. Give them plenty enough time. Do such and such. What's going to happen? Now, here come Yahweh. You did what? You mean you were cursed and you still allowed this to happen? Boy, you learning. But guess what? That fire is kindling on their head and they don't even know it. So they either gonna get it right or they gonna get burnt. But it ain't gonna be by your hand. Go ahead.
Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 18. See, in the whole situation, it was saying, go and curse me this people, right? You know the one entity that wasn't in the scenario? The people who getting cursed. They're not a part of any of this conversation. You understand? Mm-hmm. Like, there's a person that's going to hire another person to curse these people. The one entity who's not in the conversation is the person who's supposed to be cursed. They don't have any idea that this is going on. But they got a representative in the situation. The representative said, oh no, you can't curse them people because they blessed. I don't care what it is you do. You can't curse them. They uncursable. They're not saying this. The representative for them is saying this. And what you going to do to make sure you got a representative? So all this is going on. But the people who supposed to be the beneficiaries of this evil deed have no idea. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Genesis chapter 18, let's start at verse 17.
And Yahweh said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him.
Now, do Yahweh know you like that? Do Yahweh know you? I know him, he will command his house, his children. Wait a minute. Do he know you like that? Can he say, yeah, I'm going to give this man or this woman, that I'm going to give them a family? Why? Because I know that they're going to operate their family right. Do he know you like that? Or is he saying, I would get this man a woman, but I probably won't see him for 15 Sabbaths. I do that. I would bless this man with a family, but there ain't no telling. I might never see him. Do we know you like that? He said, I know this man. I get this man a family. He gonna raise his family. I can turn my back, go somewhere. I come back 30 years. There he is. And look at him. He done raised his family. And where they at? Right there. Go ahead.
And they shall keep the way of Yahweh, to do justice and judgment, that Yahweh may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. And Yahweh said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I'll go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come on to me, and if not, I will know.
Right. It's time to make diligent inquiry. Go send somebody down there and go tell me if this is what's happening. Go ahead.
And the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before Yahweh. Peradventure, and Abraham drew near and said, will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Will you also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from you to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And Yahweh said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake.
Wait a minute. I will spare the entire city if I can find 50 righteous. Go ahead.
And Abraham answered and said, behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Adonai, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure they shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Will you destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, Peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Adonai be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Adonai. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake.
I mean, back today, this is what you call, this is like an auction, but 35, what about for 15, for 45, what about if we had 45, will you destroy for the 45? What about 35 if you find 35? Will you destroy for 35? I will not destroy it for 35. What about 20? What about 20? He just keep going. Go ahead.
And he said, Oh, let not the Adonai be angry, and I'll speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there.
Down to 10. Go ahead.
And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And Yahweh went his way.
Yahweh, we're done though. I need you to understand. We ain't keep going though. We ain't keep going. He was done. In other words, it wasn't 10 found righteous in Sodom. But then you need to understand something. If you are making your attempt to walk, you know you ain't enough to keep something from being destroyed. I'm going to need you to understand some things. You ain't enough to keep it from being destroyed. You need to be careful where you take your blessing, Israel. Let's go to Job chapter 42. Y'all ain't going to destroy it because I'm going to be over there. Keep on playing.
They call it collateral damage.
That burning smell that you smell will be the flesh that was on you. Job 42, and let's read verses 1 through 17.
Job chapter 42. Job chapter 42 and verse 1. Then Job answered Yahweh and said, I know that you can do everything, and that no thought can be withholden from you. Who is he that hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered that I understand not things too wonderful for me, which I knew not. Hear, I beseech you, and I will speak. I will demand of you, and declare you unto me. I've heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now mine eye sees you. Wherefore I abhor myself, and repent in dust and ashes.
I have heard of you by the hearing of my ear, but when you experience something, it's something altogether different. Now I know you. Go ahead.
And it was so, that after Yahweh had spoken these words unto Job, Yahweh said to Eliphaz the Temanite, My wrath is kindled against you, and against your 2 friends.
Now, while you're going through something, your friends will speak whatever they think, because at this point, it looks like you're going to be devoured. So they are emboldened to keep talking. Sometimes this is the best thing that can ever happen to you, that people believe that you are about to be destroyed. Because then you're going to hear what's truly in their heart. Go ahead.
For you have not spoken of me the thing that is right, as my servant Job has. Therefore take unto you now 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job.
Wait a minute. I need you to go to the person you've been talking about. The one who you said was about to be destroyed. He's covered in boils. He got all these problems. I need you to go. No, don't come to me. No, you can't come to me. No, you ain't good enough to come to me. No, let me tell you something. You finna go make your supplications to my servant. You know that one who you've been talking about. Him. Go ahead.
And offer up for yourselves a burnt offering, and my servant Job shall pray for you.
Wait a minute. The one who you've been talking about. I'm going to put your blessing in their hand. Be careful who you be talking about. No, Yahweh is poetic in how he take care of his business. No. Your deliverance. I'm going to give you your deliverance. You say you need such and such? Got it. Okay, Yahweh, you got my deliverance. Thank you. Yeah. Don't thank me. Thank that guy. Now go get it. It's over there. Oh, no, but he never says anything good concerning me. I'm sorry. Well, I guess you're going to have to work that out. Because your blessing and your deliverance is right there. Now go get it. Wait a minute. He said the land was yours, right? But then you had to still go war for it? Okay. All right, the blessing is yours. The deliverance is yours. There it is. Go get it. Go ahead.
You know, it goes right back to how he's sticking with his own thing. Because you say, if you come to the altar to give your gift and you know your brother has aught against you, go to your brother. And that's what they tell him now. Nah, go to him.
Huh?
And then when you reconcile,
then coming off of your gift. But at this point, no, I ain't accepting your gift. And I ain't accepting your prayer. I need you to go to that man that you were talking about. Go ahead.
For him will I accept.
I ain't going to accept you. Him will I accept. Go ahead.
Least I deal with you after your folly, in that you have not spoken of me the thing which is right, like my servant Job.
Wait a minute. You have not spoken of me. Wait a minute. See, because situation and circumstance presented itself, now people say, yeah, Yahweh punishing them for such and such. Now, see, this is how you just put your God in it. See, Yahweh will give somebody just enough to blaspheme, and they don't know that they have committed blasphemy. He said, you have not spoken right the thing concerning me. Wait a minute, how did Yahweh get in this? Because you thought Yahweh was punishing this individual, so you open your mouth the wrong way. Now Yahweh's not holding you accountable for what you said about the man. He's holding you accountable for the part that you ascribed him to. And what man can be forgiven for what he has attributed unto Yahweh? Yahweh now holds the keys to that. Now this is the only way you're going to be put back on right street. Take care of that business. Go ahead.
So Eliphaz the Temanite and Bildad the Shuhite and Zophar the Naamathite went and did according as Yahweh commanded them. Yahweh also accepted Job. And Yahweh turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends.
Stop. Wait a minute. Now you have your own deliverance as being the one who was persecuted, and now your persecution only gets delivered when you pray for the ones who was praying on you. Wait a minute, though. Hold on. But you know the timing still got to be right, though. He can only pray for his friends when they stop praying on him. See, if he prayed for them in the midst of it, that prayer don't go nowhere. Now, they come to him right. Now, he then prays for them, and now he is released. But what if he's stuck in anger? Oh, well, he never gets his redemption then. So wait a minute. So Yahweh put their deliverance in each other's hands. He didn't say, I'm going to bless you, because see, this is what people like to do. You know, let God be the truth and every man be the lie. Get the hell out of here. What they want to do is they don't want to deal with no man whatsoever. They think that they can go straight to Yahweh. But what Yahweh did was put the deliverance of one individual in his hand and put the deliverance of the other individual in his hand, and let me see if y'all going to deal with each other. We ain't going to tell that. Read, priest.
Also, Yahweh gave Job twice as much as he had there before.
Job don't get none of that if he don't pray for his friends. Okay. Read, priest.
Then came there unto him all his brethren, and all his sisters, and all they that had been of his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house. And they bemoaned him, and comforted him over all the evil that Yahweh had brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earring of gold. So Yahweh blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, for he had 14,000 sheep, and 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she-asses.
Wait a minute. Job has now proved that he is a son. A son, especially the firstborn, gets a double portion. He got 2 times as much. What was Yahweh saying? This my son. He done went through everything I done put him through. Not only am I going to give his stuff back, I'm going to give him double what he had. Go ahead.
He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he called the name of the first Jemimah, and the name of the second Keziah, and the name of the third Karen Hapuk. And in all the land were no women found as fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them inheritance among their brethren. After this lived Job 140 years, and saw his sons and his sons' sons, even 4 generations, So Job died, being old and full of days.
All right. Let us hit a conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 19. Be careful how you deal with something, Israel. Don't think that all you going to do, you ain't got to deal with nobody but Yahweh. All right. Yahweh put all your deliverance and everything you asking for in the hand of that dude that you got problem with. What you going to do then? What you going to do? Right. Proverbs 19, and we're going to start at verse 1.
Better is the poor that walks in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also, that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good, and he that hasteth with his feet sins. The foolishness of man perverteth his way, and his heart fretteth against Yahweh. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaks lies shall not escape. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that gives gifts. All the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more does his friends go far from him? He pursueth them with words, yet they are wanting to him. He that getteth wisdom loves his own soul. He that keeps understanding shall find good. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaks lies shall perish. Delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. The discretion of a man differs,
mean pause. See, when they said they deferred your payment, that means you ain't got to make that payment right now. All right? The discretion of a man defers his anger. That doesn't mean that it was a situation that he wasn't angry about. His discretion said, you know what, just pause for a second. Go ahead.
And it is his glory to pass over a transgression. The king's anger is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as dew upon the grass. A foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continued dropping. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from Yahweh.
So where a non-prudent wife come from? Go ahead.
Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. He that keeps the commandment keeps his own soul, but he that despises his ways shall die. He that has pity upon the poor lendeth unto Yahweh, and he which he has given will he pay him again. Chasten your son while there is hope, and let not your soul spare for his crime.
Let not your soul spare for his crime. Understand, Yahweh have to do that same thing to us. Chasten your son while there's still time. The longer you allow somebody to grow in wrongdoings, the thicker that is residing with them. So once you let that go so long, you lose your opportunity to discipline them concerning that thing. Why? Because now it's set in them that that's not what they've done, that's who they are. See, there's a difference between something that you've done and something that you are. If something keeps going on long enough and there's no disciplinary action for it, it is not what you've done, it is who you are. So he encourages us, chasten your son while there is still hope. Why? There is still hope that it is not set in their heart. Once it is set in here, you are done. That is who they are now because you let it go on too long. Go ahead.
A man of great anger shall suffer punishment, for if you deliver him, yet you must do it again.
Uh-huh.
Hear counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter end. There are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of Yahweh, that shall stand. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of Yahweh tendeth to life, and he that has it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. A slothful man hides his hand in his bosom, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Smite a scorner, and the simple will beware, and reprove one that has understanding, and he will understand knowledge. He that wasteth his father, and chaseth away his mother, is a son that causes shame and brings reproach. Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causes to err from the words of knowledge. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devours lawlessness. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the back of fools.
All right. That is all that we are going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.